let's set up a hand line. You're going to need a handline spool. This one's made out of PVC. Your choice of fishing line. Here I'm using 20-pound test. A selection of hooks. A lead sinker. And a pair of scissors. The main important part we're going to do here is filling up the spool with a 20-pound test. You basically wrap it around twice, and you're going to secure it with a double square knot and make sure it's tight but not too tight that it ends up popping on you. Now there's other ways you can do this. You can drill 2 small holes in the spool itself and do the square knot there. Now comes a very tedious and time-consuming part. You're going to fill up your spool with as much line as possible. This does take a bit of time, so I'm going to fast forward this in the next few seconds. One important thing to note is every handline spool is different, whether it's made out of PVC or wood. So depending on the diameter, it will determine how much line it can hold. The reason why I'm using 20-pound test is because I catch mackerel off the pier and off the rocks in my region, so it fits my needs. Keep filling it up, but not too much that the line ends up overflowing. Alright, now you're going to trim off what's left. And this is what it should look like. Next comes a part where we're going to tie a surgeon's knot to connect the lead sinker. You're going to fold the line in half, fold it twice, and do it again. We're going to fold it in half. You're going to make a loop. It's like making a square knot, except it's going to be a double knot. Fold over. Wrap it around your finger like that. Pull the loop through twice. Then secure tightly. You could also add a bit of saliva, but it's not always needed. And that's what it should look like. And this is an easier way of putting on a sinker because you can remove it. You're going to essentially pinch the end and feed it through the sinker eyelet. Like so. Then just loop it over the body of the sinker and pull. Simple as that. Now comes the part where you're going to attach your hook. You're going to make a loop, as I'm demonstrating here. Not too large, not super small, where you end up making a knot. Now the hook I'm using is a size 6 hook, which has had a red feather tied to it, essentially creating a type of fly, or how others would call it, a lure. You're going to feed the line behind the loop, pull back, give it a little bit of tension, hold the excess, and and you're gonna do a couple hitches. Just as I'm demonstrating. That's one hitch. Pull it back a little bit just to make sure it's secure. You're going to do another hitch. Locks that other knot in place. You're going to go on the opposite direction, on the opposite side, and do the same thing. Really secure it. Now let me show you something people don't really show. This is how you're going to store your hand line. You're going to release some line, not too much, not too little. You're going to pinch, fold back over your thumb, essentially creating a loop. Grab the hook. Hook it onto the loop, not your finger. And you're going to pull, just as I'm doing, and essentially your line gets locked. Take your time with this step. Just like that. But many people don't really like the sinker hanging off. So, look very carefully at what I'm doing. I'm pulling back some of the line, exposing it, and I'm basically going to do a loop. Watch closely. Gonna go under my finger just as it is. Feed the sinker through it. Pull. Adjust the tension. Not too much, not too little. Wrap it again. There you go. Simple as that. And that's how you set up a hand line.